Daf Yomi, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 16a, top of the page, with the words Ben Nasi Shevet Shechata Askinan. Mi lo amarav ada bar ahava, kol davar hagadol yaviu elecha. Divarav shel gadol hainami gadol hu. We are dealing with the Nasi of a tribe who has sinned. Doesn't Rav Ada bar Ahava say? The verse states, "They shall bring every great matter to you." Exodus 18:22, meaning matters of a great one. In other words, in any case where a great person is accused of a transgression whose punishment is death, he is tried by the great Sanhedrin of 71 judges. And this Nasi of the tribe is also a great one. So his trial is by 71 judges. Ula Amar Rabbi Elazar Bevayin al Iske Nachalois V'chet Chilasa Shel Eretz Yisrael Mat Chilasa Shivim Echad Avkan Shivim Be'echad. Ula said that Rabbi Elazar said a different explanation. The Mishnah discusses a case where two tribes came to adjudicate a dispute about matters of inheritance. Like let's say territory claimed by each tribe on the border between them. And this dispute is handled by the great Sanhedrin consisting of 71 judges, as was done at the beginning of the settlement in Eretz Yisrael during the time of Joshua. Just as the beginning, the initial division, was performed by 71 elders of the congregation, so too here, when there is a dispute about the borders determined by that initial division, the case is adjudicated by the 71 judges of the great Sanhedrin. Lima tchilos kalpi, urim v'tumim v'chol Yisrael avkan kalpi, urim v'tumim v'chol Yisrael elamachvarta kiterav masna. The Gemara asks if this logic is employed, then just as the beginning was performed by casting lots, kalpi, with the urim v'tumim, I wonder what the gematria of Urim Tumim is. That's the beauty of gematria calculators. When in human history could you just put a word in and boom, 759. Atbash, 754. I mean, this is amazing. Then you go 759. And then I just put in this computer here. And I'm like, Mark. Oh, this dude, man. Oh, Mark, American Foods Group? I would have never known this guy if not for that. Let's call Mark tomorrow. Why not? Because 759... 759 is Urim v'tumim. B'chol Yisrael, avkan kalbi Urim v'tumim b'chol Yisrael. Right. The Gemara asks if this logic is employed, then just as the beginning was performed by casting lots with the Urim v'tumim and with all of the Jewish people present, so too here, in a dispute between tribes, there should be a need for lots. The Urim v'tumim and the presence of all the Jewish people, since this is not required by halacha, it is apparent that a border dispute between tribes need not be adjudicated using the same procedures as the original division of the inheritances. Consequently, there is no reason to require 71 judges. Rather, it is clear that this must be explained in accordance with the explanation of Rav Matana, who says that the Mishnah is discussing the Nasi of a tribe who has sinned. Ravina Amar Lo Ilam B'Shevet Yehudach Udika Kashilach B'Dina Derabim Dedeyanin Le In Afal Gav Dikotlina B'Yochit B'Din Derabim Dayoninan Le. Ravina said the Mishnah is actually discussing a tribe that was subverted and which engaged in idol worship. And, with regard to that which poses a difficulty for you, the question of whether we judge such a tribe with the halacha of a multitude, it can be answered, yes. Although we execute them as individuals by stoning, and their money is not confiscated, nevertheless, we judge them in a court of the multitude, meaning each one of them is tried by the great Sanhedrin. Milo Amar Rav Chama bar Yossi Amar Rav Oshaya Rabbi Oshaya ve'otzesa esa isha hu o eta isha hi, etc. Ish ve'isha ata motzi l'sharecha ve'i ata motzi kol ir kula l'sharecha hachanami ish ve'isha ata motzi l'sharecha ve'i ata motzi kol shevet kula l'sharecha. Ravina continues, doesn't Rabbi Chama, the son of Rabbi Yossi, say, Rabbi Oshaya says, the verse that discusses an individual who serves idol worship states, and you shall take out that man or that woman who did that evil thing to your gates, even the man or woman, and you shall stone them until they die. Deuteronomy 17:5. And it is inferred you take out a man or a woman to your gates to judge them in the court that is located at the gates of your city, which is a lesser Sanhedrin, but you do not take out an entire city to your gates. Rather, they are to be judged by a large court. Here also, with regard to a tribe that has sinned, you take out a man or a woman to your gates, but you do not take out the entire tribe to your gates. Rather, they are judged by a court of 71. Lo et navia sheker mina animili. The Mishnah teaches that a false prophet may be judged only by the great Sanhedrin, consisting of 71 judges. The Gemara asks, from where is this matter derived? Amar Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina Hazada mizaken mamre malaham b'shem avkan b'shem echad. Rabbi Yossi, son of Rabbi Chanina, says it is derived. It is derived by means of a verbal analogy with the meaning of presumptuousness, stated in the context of a false prophet, learned from presumptuousness, stated in the context of a rebellious elder. With regard to a false prophet, the verse states, but the prophet who shall speak a word presumptuously in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or who shall speak in the name of other gods, that prophet shall die. Deuteronomy 18:20. And with regard to a rebellious elder, it states, and the man that acts presumptuously by not listening to the priest that stands to minister before the Lord your God, or to the judge, that man shall die. Deuteronomy 17:12. Just as there, with regard to a rebellious elder, he is presumptuous against the court of 71 judges. So to here, with regard to a false prophet, he is judged by a court of 71 judges. V'ha'azara ki kasiva b'gatala hu diksiva gatala b'asin slasihu ela amar Reish Lakish Gamar davar mi chamar asay. The Gemara challenges, but when presumptuous is written with regard to a rebellious leader, is written with regard to the death penalty, and a death sentence may be issued by a court of 23 judges. Rather, Reish Lakish said it is derived by means of a verbal analogy, with the meaning of the term word, stated in the context of a false prophet learned from the term word, used when describing the rebellious elder's rebellion. The rebellious elder transgresses by violating the mitzvah, and you shall do according to the word that they will tell you. Deuteronomy 17:10. With regard to the false prophet, the verse states, "Who shall speak a word presumptuously in my name?" Deuteronomy 18:20. Just as the rebellious elder rebels against the court of 71 judges, so too a false prophet who speaks a word that is not in the name of God is sentenced to death by a court of 71 judges. Wow. It's a big daf. Maybe we'll do part 1 and part 2. Just as the rebellious elder rebels against the court of 71. So two false prophets speaks a word. Okay. Villa hadar zakin mamre v'legmar hazada bizdom sheker davar gamir hazada lo gamir. We're holding time wise. Okay, 11. Gemara asks, and let the halacha of a rebellious elder return. Let it be derived by means of a verbal analogy, with the meaning of presumptuousness stated in the context of a rebellious elder learned from presumptuousness stated in the context of a false prophet to indicate that a rebellious elder is also sentenced by a court of 71 judges. The more answers this, Tana derives halakha through the verbal analogy, comparing the terms word and word, but he does not derive halakha through a verbal analogy between the terms presumptuous and presumptuousness, as he did not receive it as an authentic tradition. I think we'll stop here, and we'll pick it up with part 2. I think it's a better idea. Wow, these are big dafs.